Hello, friends, and welcome to the Southern Gospel Music Association Hall of Fame Special. We are glad that you're here. Thank you for being with us tonight. We're going to, on the right side over there, we've got our Vice President, Gary Casto, our museum curator and resident know-it-all, Aaron Rich over there. But I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, best possible way.
Okay, sure. And of course, Executive Vice President Clark Beasley of the National Quartet Convention. My name is Arthur Rice, and welcome, and we're glad that you're here.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time for you to be with us today. We've got some special video from the archives that you've never seen before, which is why we always want to encourage you to tune in and share with your friends right now. So as you're watching this, if somebody else is sitting at home, make sure and text them right now. You got to get on, you got to see this. This is going to be a special event. We've got even some surprises for our friend here, Clark Beasley.
I've had plenty of
You've had enough surprises? To get the program started today, we're going to do something that Clark didn't even know he was going to see or hear. If you've been waiting your whole life to hear Clark Beasley sing, we are going to toss it right now to a chapel service from 1990 at the National Quartet Convention. Clark was playing bass with the Florida Boys, and surprisingly, in the middle of this, his father, Les Beasley, called him up, and Clark saying, "I've got a feeling everything's going to be all right."
Where in the world did you get this?
Check it out.
But Pharaoh's heart was hardened, so he thought he'd change their route. So he chased them on down to the Red Sea shore. And he thought he wouldn't have to worry about Moses anymore. But Moses stretched his rod out over the sea. And the Lord answered Moses with a kind, gentle breeze. I can see old Moses now with a smile on his face. Hey, come on, children, let's leave this place. Well, I've got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Yeah, I've got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Oh, I've got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Be all right, be all right, be all right. Now, a little boy named David went out to fight the giant. Everyone laughed. It's such a funny sight. Now little shepherd boy arm rolling with a sling beside Goliath seemed such a pity thing. But David said, "You come to me with spear and sword, but I come to you in the name of the Lord." So he put it on a stone and he gave it a flame. And when he left his hand, little David had to sing. Well, I've got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Yeah, I've got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Oh, I've got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Be all right, be all right, be all right. And now for the greatest story of them all. Jesus was a dying and hell was having a ball. Now the demons were rejoicing because they thought they had won the war. But soon they wouldn't be laughing anymore. Well, that first Easter morning when the sun woke up the earth, the carriage of the deep opened up as to give birth to a resurrected Savior with healing in his wings. Come on, children, let's rise and sing. Well, I've got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Yeah, I've got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Oh, I've got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Be all right, be all right, be all right. Be
Well, that was a wonderful clip. And, for those of you who never knew this stuff.
You wouldn't be more surprised if you woke up with your head sewn to the carpet.
I don't know where you find this stuff.
Clark and I actually kind of started about the same time. You were in college, and so during the summertime, you would come and play bass guitar for the Florida Boys, and I just started with the Kingsmen. So we kind of have known each other.
First time I met you, I think, was on the Emerald Seas.
Yes.
At the Singing at Sea.
Yes, Singing at Sea. That's right. That's right. And then you know, still played, and so we've known each other for a long time and been around. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Right now, a word from our sponsor.
Now it's time once again for our little Black Draft movie, so let's all watch.
Feel fresh and clean inside. Black Draft helps you feel fresh and clean inside.
Isn't it great to feel fresh and clean inside? This is the wonderful feeling you have today because you took Black Draft last night. A halfway laxative does a halfway job. But Black Draft is thorough. Helps nature empty waste congestion from all 5 trouble spots in the colon. Black Draft, also called Black Draught, comes in powder and granulated form, as a syrup for children, and in easy-to-take candy-coated tablets. No wonder you like Black Draft, the laxative that gently empties waste from all 5 trouble spots to help you feel fresh and clean inside.
That's right. It certainly will help you feel fresh and clean inside. So neighbors, when you need a laxative, remember Black Draft, or if you prefer to call it Black Draught, remember it's the laxative that will help you feel fresh and clean inside.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that word from our sponsor today. No, that actually was not something that is in charge of the program. That is from the 1961 Gospel Song Shop. Your dad, they used to have a television program, and that's the thing you got to understand. We all have come from somewhere to help us get to where we're at. And obviously, Clark's legendary father, Les, is one of the most innovative businessmen in all time in gospel music. So do you have any memories of that from when you were a kid and how that impacted you?
Well, Song Shop predates me. I wasn't born until 68. And Song Shop, I think those years were 61 to 63. But the sponsor of the Gospel Music Song Shop was Chattanooga Medicine Company. And it was that relationship that led to the Gospel Singing Jubilee thereafter. But you know, of course, they're sponsoring. They want a product promoted, and the product they chose was a laxative. And so you saw that. I mean, complete with jingle.
Yes, yes.
Feel fresh and clean inside. Bum, 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 bum. And I love it. You know, Black Draft helps you feel fresh and clean inside. And then Billy goes, classic bass line.
Oh my, that is priceless.
And see, you were not expecting to see that on the Hall of Fame special. That's why it's so important that you tune in no matter what.
You never know what you're going to do.
You do what you have to do to make a living. And that included a laxative jingle back in 61 to 63.
And who would have thought that would have turned into the Jubilee show?
sure
Talk
did.
to us a little bit about the Jubilee, and that was really, I know you said as you were not born yet for the Gospel Song Shop, but you grew up around all of those heroes at the Jubilee.
Yeah.
And I know that had to have an impact on you.
Yeah, Jubilee, I believe, started in 64. So when I came along in 68, it was already in full bloom. Yeah. Coast to coast, border to border. And it was a truly a bona fide part of American culture. Because when it was on, there were only 2 or 3 other things to watch on Sunday morning. And Jubilee was one of them. So an audience of millions, and I have heard that the company that syndicated and distributed it nationally did not even use the ratings to sell the program to the sponsors.
Wow.
Because the ratings were so high, they didn't think the sponsors would believe it.
Wow.
So they did not use the ratings. That's how high the ratings were.
My goodness. I know growing up, that was a special time. Every Sunday morning, you know, had a big old bowl of oatmeal toast and a gospel jubilee, and it was special to me. Clark, traveling week after week, one of the biggest questions I get is, tell me the history of the National Quartet Convention. When did it first start? What place? So I cannot answer all those questions, but you can.
You know, of course, it was the idea of J.D. Sumner when J.D. was with the Blackwood Brothers. And back in '57, well, probably the year before is when he pitched to James. He pitched to him the idea of having a homecoming for gospel music. Wow. You know, he had grown up in the Church of God. And at the Church of God summer camp meetings, it would be like a homecoming, a reunion. And he would have it down in Wimauma, Florida, where Bill Bailey does his,
oh my goodness,
his, winter convention thing down there. So that was the idea. And you got to think, a multi-day event booking everybody. Wow. That had never been done before.
Right.
And there were probably all kinds of reasons not to try it.
Right. Yeah.
Not the least of which the risk involved.
Sure.
The financial risk of this. But man, they had vision, and they believed, we could do this and we could make it work. So at '57, that's when they started at the Ellis Auditorium in Memphis, Tennessee. And Ellis, that one stage served 2 theaters. And so it was so successful that they ended up selling into both theaters and opening up the curtain. So the very first convention was kind of a de facto center stage.
Wow.
Which is an iconic part of NQC now.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
And contrary to popular belief, you also hear all the time, when did they add soloists and trios? When you go back to those early days, that was a part of, even in the 60s, that was part of the program, no matter what. It wasn't just all male quartets out of the gate. They added that slowly, and you probably still hear that today. Why is it called Quartet Convention when that's there? When you've got great branding and you've got a great product.
Well, I think the Johnson sisters were on the very first one.
They were.
And of course, mixed groups like the Spears were in the Chuck Wagon Gang were on the very first one.
Right.
So it was, you did have trios, you did have mixed groups. Soloists is something that didn't come along until '98. But, there weren't very many soloists.
No.
Up until that time. And actually remember when Ivan Parker was our first featured soloist on the NQC. And that would have been around '98. Yeah.
Well, and they did that. People that were soloists like Big Jim Waits took the stage, but the Spear family backed him up.
There you go.
So they did it and they incorporated it in a special way. So talk to us a little bit about how you got involved in the National Quartet Convention, how you came along in that capacity when you first got started.
Well, I thought I wanted to be a performer, as we saw there in 1990. But when I graduated from college, I went full time with the group for the first time, traveled the full year. I'd only been with them when I wasn't in school. And I went full time with them in '90, from '90 to '91. And in '91, we did a West Coast tour. And in that West Coast tour, we did 33 concerts in 31 days.
Wow.
And I felt bleeding in another direction.
Not the one to start on that.
Those guys, Dad, Glenn, and Daryl were a great generation, and that's just a totally different level of work ethic.
Right.
Throughout their entire career, they took one vacation a year, a 2-week break at Christmas, and other than that, they were working. Wow. They were on the road.
Wow.
But no, I really did feel like maybe I could be more productive because, man, they had been doing what they did for a long time before I ever entered the world, And
so we're planning on stopping. They were just
no, they weren't planning on stopping.
They
were still hitting it hard. Yeah. So I really felt like I could be of more benefit and more productive in the administrative side. So I traveled to Nashville and met with Joe Muscayo at BMI, and I thought I wanted to go to work for BMI. And Muscayo was kind of a hero of mine.
Sure.
So I talked to him, and he said, well, I don't have anything at BMI to offer you right now, but I tell you who is looking for somebody is the Gospel Music Association. They need somebody as their membership director. So I went over there and talked to Don Butler, and the last thing Don Butler did as executive director of GMA is hire me.
Wow.
And he retired right after that. Bruce Kobush took over that job from him. And so we basically started the same week. And so I was there for 2 years. and eventually became finance director as well as membership director. And I consider those 2 years at GMA as kind of my graduate study.
Sure.
Because that's where I really learned the skills to manage events, because they were doing Gospel Music Week at the time.
Yeah.
And so gained a lot of skills during those 2 years.
And Don Butler, one of the original hosts of the National Quartet Convention as well, as part of that. They all did that. It's funny how all this gospel music family just comes together.
It's pretty tight-knit.
Yeah.
So I was there 2 years, and in '93, that's when the NQC board made the decision to move to Louisville. So it was Maurice Templeton that actually spearheaded the effort to hire me to manage that move and pull everything into a central office. And because ticketing had been farmed out to Ticketmaster, promotions had been farmed out to Atkins Muse. So they wanted to pull everything in-house and have me manage it. And I to this day, I cannot figure out what he saw in a 24-year-old, freshly out of college, dumb as a bag of hammers guy, that he was, that they would entrust what they had built. We were selling out Municipal Auditorium in Nashville multiple days, so this facility in Louisville gave us the opportunity to once again grow. And that first year in Louisville in '94, we doubled our attendance and quadrupled our exposition.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and set attendance records from that point on up until 9/11.
Wow.
And I think what's interesting, though, is that all has influences on everybody. I was there in 1994.
Were you really?
As a 14-year-old kid in the audience, and that's had an impact on me. And that's the thing people don't understand is, had that change, because change is inevitable in life, right? Change is always part of what we do, but when that happens and someone steps up and does it the right way, I think we could all say Maurice has been a prime example of someone that has had great discernment. You didn't understand, but Maurice did. And he knew what was supposed to happen. And I think that's what happens when God gets involved. I think the right person at the right time. And we've been blessed because of it. And we're actually going to toss right now to one of the favorite moments in the history of the National Quartet Convention. Another event from 1999 when Glenn Payne was in the hospital and was not able to be with the Cathedrals on their farewell tour, and he called in. You got anything you want to add on this clip?
I've been asked what's your most memorable moment, and I think this is number one. This is the most memorable moment, probably in NQC history, when Glenn Payne is in the hospital and he calls in during the Cathedral's final stand at NQC. It was just something special.
Yeah. Sit back and enjoy this clip from 1999, Glenn Payne and the Cathedral Quartet.
Is there somebody on the phone?
Yeah, there's somebody on the phone. Oh, you guys sound great.
I think I recognize that old voice.
That old voice. I think you do too.
Oh, Glenn, God
I love
bless
you, Ernie, George, Scott, Roger.
bless your heart, Glenn. We love you. We're so glad you called in, buddy.
I am so tickled to death to be able to say hi to all the people that prayed for me. I'm in the hospital at Vanderbilt University, Nashville, Tennessee, but I'm doing better. And the Lord is going to touch me. I know it beyond a shadow of that.
And we do too, man. Yeah. Yes, buddy. Yeah.
I'm so excited to hear you guys sing. I'm telling you.
Glenn, I tell you what, I told the people last night, because of my health situation, you've walked on the stage without me a lot of times, but this week was the first time I've ever walked on stage without you, and I miss you, buddy. I really do. I ain't got nobody to pick on, you know.
Well, you can pick on me on the phone.
Okay. You know what, Glenn? We don't want to tire you out, and thanks for calling in. And I know this is would you do something for me, buddy? I'll never ask you anything to do for me that you didn't do willingly, but I'd ask for you to do something for me.
I'll do anything in the world.
All of a sudden, you used to sing a song for me once in a while. Just sitting on the bus riding down the road. I'd ask you to sing a verse of this song for me, and you'd look over at me and sing it, just riding down the road. Just act like we were riding down the road one more time. And
Okay.
could you sing me a verse of I Won't Have to Cross Jordan Alone?
I believe I can. When I come to the river at an evening, when the last winds of sorrow have blown, for there'll be somebody waiting to show me, 'cause I won't have to cross Jordan alone. I won't have to cross Jordan alone. Jesus died all my sins to atone. When the darkness I see, He'll be waiting for me. I won't have to cross Jordan.
Oh, Glenn.
Thank you, National Convention Board. I love every one of you.
We
I
all love you,
all
buddy.
of you.
We all love you, buddy. I hope you can feel our prayers here today.
I feel your prayers. I feel your prayers. And I just can't wait to get back inside.
Hey Glenn, it's Roger. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Buddy, I'd give $100 to see that nurse that come in to check your blood pressure just now when you were singing.
Well, my doctor's standing here right now, waiting to take my blood pressure.
Well, that's the
and I think I'm going to be sky high.
That's the luckiest doctor in the world right there to get a concert from you, buddy. We love you.
Well, I love all of you. I want to thank every one of you for every call you've made, for everything you've done, and all the people out there in the National Quartet Convention. And I want to thank the board personally, and I want to thank everybody for being so nice to me during this trying time. You know what? I'm going to win, because I've read the back of the book, and we win. And I love you all, and I'll never forget you.
We love you, Glenn. God bless you. Get
God
well.
bless you, George.
Hurry back, buddy. Can't wait to hug your old neck again.
Well, I can't wait for you to hug my old neck and me to hug your old neck.
Yeah. We love
So
you.
just tell everybody I love you.
We will, Glenn. God bless you.
Love you.
Love you too, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome back. And Clark, we just want to say congratulations again.
Thank
And
you so much.
Thank you for not only hosting with us and helping us through this, but everything that you've done to help us and help the Hall of Fame. I dare say, without your help, we wouldn't have a Hall of Fame right now also. So I just want to thank you personally.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your leadership and all you've done. I know it's a lot of sacrifice that you've made, and your sweet wife, Tammy.
Tammy does it. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
We would make
She
her
does
come-
all the heavy lifting. We know that.
We'd make her come on camera, but she wouldn't want to do it. And we did audit your induction, and it did actually.
legal?
It is legal.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay.
We did our very best. Our next inductee is Mr. Phil Cross, legendary songwriter and performer. We want you to enjoy this classic clip of Gold City in the 1980s singing one of Phil's great songs, When I Get Carried Away.
I'm gonna let the glory roll when the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the key that day. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away.
Well, I don't know why I become a little shy when I get around a whole lot of people. And I can't figure out why I never can shout about the love that floods my soul. I must confess I can't express feelings deep inside me. The things I know and cannot show one day will overflow.
I'm gonna let the glory roll when the roll
clouds and shout so loud. It may sound like thunder. My tearful eyes may fill the skies until it looks like rain. As I leave this world past the gates of pearl and stand before the Savior, I'll let my soul let the glory roll, and when the roll he calls my name. The glory roll, when the roll is called in glory, I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the King that day. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away, and I get carried away. I'm gonna let the glory roll when the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside myself when I get beside the King that day. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away, and I get carried away. I'm gonna get carried away, carried away. When I get carried away.
Welcome back, and that was Gold City, When I Get Carried Away. Great song, great quartet, and the writer of that song, and congratulations, Phil Cross, on your induction. We are glad that you're
Thank you
here.
very
Thank
much,
you for
friend.
coming.
I appreciate
Well
that.
done.
Thank you. It's neat, really neat.
Yeah.
Humbling, very humbling.
Very, very well deserved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Well,
for all the songs that you've written over the years.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that. Anything you want to say to the folks?
Well, I was just very surprised, and it's been an humbling several months now since I guess not several months, but a couple of months since I was surprised over here, and yeah, just an humbling thing. You know, I just all these years I've just been blessed to get to be involved in as a writer and an artist, and I've enjoyed trying to do my best, you know, in everything that I've been a part of, and I'm just thankful for God's touch all the way.
Absolutely.
One of the things about this program is that we want you to learn something new about people that you may not have known. So I got a little treasure here, Phil. I'm going to jog your memory and see if that brings back any memories you may not have known. This is Phil's first group, and I believe your parents helped get this started, right? The Gospel Sounds. Tell us a little bit about young Phil Cross, and I'll zoom in and let you look at this, but man, there's a young Phil Cross there. You probably had no idea that it would carry you through to the future. Probably didn't even realize there was a couple sealed copies of this left out there, did you?
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well, Mom and Dad had a quartet when I was very, very young. They sung in a quartet called the Lively Quartet. And they were fantastic, and they sung great quartet songs. Had a great bass singer that one of my favorites. His name was Lloyd Lively. Mama sang she sung what would be the tenor part in a male quartet, and Dad sung baritone. And so I traveled around with them, you know, very, very small child. And then Mom and Dad started their own group called the Gospel Sounds. And I started out playing drums first, and then graduated to bass guitar when the bass guitar guy left, and then started singing. And probably not singing until I was a late teenager. And I was always so shy, so it took a lot for me to put a mic up there and sing. But I love those years. Mom and Dad retired that group right after I had graduated high school, and but it was a great time, and Mom and Dad loved gospel music.
Well, and I think it's important for everybody to know that we've all come from someplace, right? We just got done with the segment with Clark, obviously with his legendary father Les, and I think this is important to know. This has helped drive to where you are today.
Of course.
That influence is there. But talk a little bit about the songwriting piece. How did that get developed in your heart?
Right.
Do you remember the first song that you wrote, and was it a horrible song?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Everybody's wrote more.
I was around 1981, I was playing bass guitar for a legendary writer, Elmer Cole. Elmer wrote 10,000 Years and Something I Can Feel, and he was, I was actually playing bass with a hero. I mean, I looked up to everything about Elmer. I loved his singing. I loved his ability to communicate to an audience. Of course, I loved his songwriting. But I was the bass player that he didn't even let me work the product table because I was so shy. I wouldn't talk to people. And so in Flint, Michigan, Elmer was booked, and the group was booked at the Whiting Auditorium. And Elmer, we got there one night early, and Elmer went out with the promoter. And when he got back, I knocked on Elmer's hotel door, went in there, and, you know, I said to Elmer, and of course, I'm not even looking, I can't even look at him because I'm looking at the hotel floor. I said, Elmer, I want to be a songwriter. And he kind of giggled a little bit. he kind of giggled a little bit. And he said, well, that's great, buddy. He said, he almost immediately asked this question. He said, are you tough? That was the first question. And I said, well, I think so. He said, you have to be tough because I want you to start writing things and sending them to me, and you have to be tough enough that I can be totally honest. And I said, I can do it. I promise I can do it. So I started writing these little silly things and terrible things. And for about a year, I heard the same response every time. That's awful. That's terrible. But then came the gold. He told me why. And I promise you, I paid attention.
Sure.
I paid attention. And I listened and I listened. Sometimes I thought I had a good song, but he would tell me why it's not there. And sometimes he would say, that's close. And sometimes, I think the most common thing he would tell me is that that's already been done. That's been done. And he said, you've got to, even though we all get to share a simple message, we have to try to say it a different way. And and he said, you have to say it the Phil Cross way, not the Elmer Cole way.
Sure.
And so after about a year with my grandmother, who was the most loving and encouraging person in my life, my grandmother, when I thought so poorly of myself, my grandmother every day told me I was beautiful and special. And I lived in the house behind my grandmother, and that was a wonderful way for me to survive childhood. And Mama Cross, which we called her, she didn't like Granny, it sounded too old. So we called her Mama Cross, and she had Alzheimer's. She was in a nursing home. That's the only way that she could be cared for. And she didn't even know our name. And I was sitting in the front yard thinking about Mama Cross. And when I was thinking about her, I was thinking, you know, she can't walk anymore. She can't walk. And I was thinking, just not about writing a song, I was thinking about her, and I thought, the next step Mama Cross takes will probably be in the presence of Him. And the more I thought about her, the more then a song started coming forth. Lately I've been yearning for home, but my heart has already gone. With each step I take, I feel one step away from walking through pearly gates, and Welcome to Heaven came forth. And I was so excited because I had spent a year wanting to hear one thing from Elmer. That's good. And so I went to the studio where Elmer worked in Lookout Mountain, and I sat down at the piano and I played Welcome to Heaven. And Larry Goss was in the studio, him and his two brothers, and they were recording tracks for somebody. And Elmer said, we need to do a demo. And so Larry Goss played the demo to Welcome to Heaven. And I went to National Quartet Convention, and I had bought 5 cassettes, the cheapest cassette I could find. I think I bought them at Radio Shack. I'm sure they sounded awful. But I had that demo, had another song on there that God had blessed me to write before I went to convention called They Can't Take That Away From Me. And I showed that cassette. I gave it to 5 groups. If I remember right, I gave it to the Rex Nealon, the Kingsmen, the Singing Americans, and 2 other people. I can't remember who it was. And I just told them, I said, these are new songs. I'm not a publisher. I'm a brand new writer. I appreciate you listening to them. And Dwayne Burke of the Singing Americans called me the Monday after convention and said, I want to put both of those on hold. And the Singing Americans recorded both of those songs, Welcome to Heaven, and Welcome to Heaven featured Clayton Emnon.
Yes, it did.
And so that was the beginning. And then it just, because of Elmer's mentorship, he wanted to wait till something was really ready, not only for one artist to hear, but all the artists to hear. He would tell me that. He said, we need a song that when you get out there, all the artists will hear that song. And he was so right. I mean, when they did that song, then other artists of the day started calling me and saying, I want a song, you know. And that really started just a wonderful time of, I was a go-to writer.
Yeah.
And what a blessing that was. But that was the beginning.
And I think it's interesting, though, when you look back, our society today would not welcome that kind of feedback. You know, we want everything to be great, but you developed who you were because of tough love.
And I don't think Elmer Cole spends a year with you without recognizing the potential in you.
Sure.
You know, I mean, you can't teach somebody to be a songwriter.
No.
You can teach a songwriter to be a better songwriter, but it's like teaching somebody to throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. You can't teach that, but you can teach a songwriter to be a better one. That's what he did for you.
Right, and well, he, man, I owe so much to him. He is still my mentor. He's still alive. He's a full-time caregiver for his wife, who is very, very bedridden, you know, not able to, she's not mobile. And Elmer spends 24/7 doing that, but I call him all the time. And you know, after him watching my life, and like all of us, my life has been ups and downs, disappointments, and a lot of it's my own fault, many times. But you know what Elmer tells me all the time, and he'd do this randomly. He said, "You're tough." He still says, "You're tough." He said, "You just keep you keep going, and you keep serving, You keep trying to do the right thing. That's good. And he tells me that all the time.
Well, we're going to check out one of Phil's great songs right now. This is from the 2002 National Quartet Convention stage. That's the Poet Voices sing Phil's classic song, I Am Redeemed.
Rescued me one glorious day. He brought me out, paid a debt I could not pay. I am redeemed. I am redeemed. We love you, God. Jesus loosed the chains of sin. Set me free. Sing it if you want to. I am redeemed. I am redeemed. Jesus loosed the chains of sin and set me free. But still I live in a foreign land, but now I'm free according to redemption's plan, and soon I'll join, robed in white, all the redeemed, and we'll sing a song, holy angels, they cannot sing. I am redeemed. Why don't you all sing it with us? I am redeemed. Jesus loosed the chains of sin and set me free. I am redeemed. I am redeemed. Jesus loosed the chains of sin and set me free. Some glorious morning, they will come from all nations, from every generation. Side by side, they will march into the celestial city of Jehovah. And in perfect harmony, they will begin humming a new song. A song written by God himself and arranged for all of his children. And as the saved by grace approach this land of their dreams, the host of heaven will step aside. Even the angels will be silent, for they cannot sing this new song. For this song is reserved for voices that once cried out for a Redeemer. Those who are washed in the precious blood of the Lamb. Brothers and sisters, I'm glad to tell you, I'm one of those. I am redeemed. Yes, I am. I am redeemed. Glory, glory. Christ is mine. He's mine, oh, live. I now reside. Jesus loosed the chains of sin and set me free. Jesus loosed the chains of sin and set me
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. Hey, listen, if you want to be a part of this, you can go to sgma.org or you can call the 800 number right below. Help us continue this music, help us to promote this music, and if it's something that you love, you can be a part of it. So thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Hey, Phil, do something for me. Phil has hosted Song of a Lifetime and Stories of the Songs, or where songwriters tell the stories
Right.
of how they were inspired to write certain songs. Tell the story about Yes I Am. I just love this.
What's the most unusual? Most of the time, songwriting is so difficult. It's not really. Most of the time, you've got to dig. You study. You got to go to the Word of God. You've got to wait. Many times on a lyric to complete, and sometimes you send a song to an artist and they want you to rewrite a part of that song. So it's a process, and sometimes it's hard. This was a miracle, though. Yes, I Am. A total miracle. Dean Hopper called me early one morning, woke me up about 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm a songwriter, so I was probably writing a song at 3 a.m. he woke me up, said, "Phil, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm waking up right now, but," and I said, "Well, you can call me anytime. What can I do for you?" He said, "The family is recording a project, and we need one of those happy heaven songs." And they just came out with Shouting Time, and how big that was. He said, "We need something that's complementary of Shouting Time, not replacing it, something we can do in another part of our program that's like Shouting Time, but not Shouting Time," right? He said, "Do you have one?" I said, "No, buddy, I don't. I wish I did." And he said, "Would you consider writing one for the family?" And I said, "Of course I would." I said, "That's up to the Lord, but yes, I'll go to work." Normally when artists, that's happened before, where artists ask me to write a specific song. And usually, even on a short-term need, if they need it quickly, it's like 2 weeks, usually, about 2 weeks. They're getting ready to go to the studio, they're desperate for one type of song. And at the last minute, 2 weeks away. But in this case, when I asked him how much time I had, he was kind of embarrassed. He said, "Phil, I'm in the studio. We're getting ready to start, it's 9 a.m. in Nashville." And he's getting ready to start a session.
Musicians are hired.
They're there. He said, "I need the song today." Well, by this time, that was funny to me. To me, that was hilarious. And so I said, "Well, Dean, you woke me up." I said, "Dean, I'm hungry. And right now, I'm going to get dressed and I'm going to go get me a sausage and egg biscuit from Hardee's." And Dean laughed at me. He said, "Well, Miss Connie's praying. And while you go to Hardee's, why don't you go ahead and start writing that song?"
Sounds just like Dean.
So I'm already going out to the truck. I've got a Silverado pickup truck out there, and I'm going out to my truck, and I'm thinking about heaven, and I'm talking to myself, trying to get a title. I got to have a title. I don't know why. Elmer taught me that. You got to have a great chorus. And so I'm tapping on the steering wheel, and I'm backing up onto Cleveland Street, right in front of my house, and I'm saying, "Yeah, I'm going to heaven. Yes, I am. Yes, I am." And I'm saying, "Well, I'm going to go with that." So I'm backing up and I say, "I'm going to leave some glorious morning. Yes, I am. Yes, I am." As I'm backing up the truck. and then I've got to get this chorus. So about 100 yards from my driveway is a creek, Chickamauga Creek in Ringgold, Georgia. And so I'm thinking, well, that second line, "I'm going to cross that chilly Jordan. Yes, I am. Yes, I am." And every time we get a rain in Ringgold, that creek floods. So I've got a third line. "Though the water is deep and the river is wide, I'm going to stand on the other side." I can finish that chorus like this. "I'm going to live in heaven someday. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So the chorus is written. At that point, I'm a half a mile from the house. So I've got a chorus. So I've got to do my word study, which Elmer taught me to do. So I take my title and I think about words that mean yes, things that mean yes. And so I think it's settled, it's sure, it's certain. Maybe is not yes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm thinking of these phrases because I know if I can get some of those phrases, that'll be a great way to start that first verse. So I get this, after doing my anonyms, quickly, in a matter of seconds, I say, it is settled, I am certain in my heart and in my mind. And so immediately I loved the word certain and I loved mind. So I said, well, second line, I will pass the glory curtain and I'll leave the world behind. I will stand with the immortal with a happy land in view. Now that's a word people don't use too much, immortal. But I love that word.
But you were tasked with a happy heaven song.
Yeah,
so
right.
You had to throw that.
It had to be happy.
Yeah.
And so there's my fourth line. I'll journey through a portal down a golden avenue. So the first line, the first verse is written. So I've got to have a second verse. Now the second verse needs to be an application. It needs to answer, so what? What does this mean? Because people, when they hear a chorus, mentally they want to say, well, big deal, so what? You've got to answer the so what. So I'm thinking about the second verse. I'm at a red light. At that point, I'm 3 miles from the house. I've got a first verse and a chorus. I'm sitting at a red light. I'm waiting at a red light. I'm looking to my left. I can see Hardee's, the promised land. I can see Hardee's. The drive-through is packed. It's packed. So I'm waiting at a red light. I'm going to be waiting at the drive-through. I'm waiting at the station, listening closely for the call.
I love it.
I have made my reservation through the one who paid it all. Not by might, not by power, but in Christ alone. I'm leaving. I'm smiling now in the truck.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. The light's red. I'm leaving any moment, praise the Lord, I'm going home.
To Hardee's.
And I'm laughing. And the light turns green, and the song is finished.
Wow.
And God, it don't happen that way, guys. It does not happen that way. But He did.
You should have had Miss Connie pray before more.
That's what I told him. I told him, hey, and I got my sausage and egg biscuit. And all of you guys know I'm going to tell you the truth right now. Especially Claude has got a reputation of being a little tight. He's got a reputation. He's got a reputation. And so I tell Dean all the time, if God would do something like Yes I Am with a sausage and egg biscuit, imagine what He would do if your family would buy me a steak dinner sometime.
Wow. That is a great story. And I think now anytime that we hear the Hopper sing Yes I Am, I want you to picture that sausage and egg.
Yeah, you got a problem now. You got a problem.
Well, tell us, we're going to finish this up with you've got hundreds of songs that you've written that have blessed our music, but Champion of Love seems to be the one that we gravitate to most of all.
Well, it's thank you. I saw a TV commercial years ago. There were two boxers. They were middleweight champions. And back in the days of boxing like that, you had several sanctions. And so one boxer could be champion over here of the world, and another boxer could be champion over here of the world. It'd just be a different sanction. So you had Sugar Ray Leonard and you had Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Both were undefeated. Both were champions of the world. And there's a commercial that came on TV because I like Sugar Ray Leonard. So there's a commercial comes on that says, there's a fight that must be fought. The world needs to know who is the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. And man, I'm sitting there and I say, wow. And my mind goes to my champion. And I'm thinking, man, that battle had to be fought. The world needed to know who's the champion of love.
Yes.
And so it intrigued me to think, could you write a song about Jesus and never say Jesus? Could you write a song about God and never say God, but introduce him in such a way that he would be the only option? That the only answer to this lyric would be Jesus Christ. And do it like if you could stand in an arena and introduce Jesus, like they introduce boxers. How would you do it? I will admit, I thought the idea was like this funny little trivial thing. And believe it or not, the first version of Champion of Love was a fast song. And it was a silly, I thought it was a gimmick. Just a little fun gimmick. Do y'all remember a song that the Imperials did many years ago called Oh Buddha? I thought it was that kind of idea. So I had this lyric. It's a little embarrassing. He is higher than Muhammad, sweeter than Sugar Ray. I didn't show that to Elmer because I knew what he. I knew what heard that.
You weren't tough enough for that one.
I knew what he was going to say. But I will tell you what happened. Michael English had just joined the Gaither Vocal Band, and Michael and I were close friends because he, of songs that he had done, and he came over at my house. And he always asked, do you have a new idea for a song? So I gave him that Champion of Idea, and I played that little silly thing. And he said, Phil, no, that's a big ballad.
That's terrible.
That's a big yeah, good thing I'm tough. So he said, that's a ballad. So we took off on that journey of writing the ballad. And so it totally changed the perspective of that song. Thank God for Michael, And a couple things, so many things happened to Champion where everything happened so that people would never hear that song. Michael got me a meeting in Nashville with a publisher because I was kind of hoping I could get a writing deal with a really good publisher. And the publisher told, the first song, Michael did the demo for Champion. The original demo was Michael English. And so we're sitting there with the publisher. The first one we showed him is Champion of Love. And the publisher said, no, that's not good. That's good practice. That's not, and he cut it off in the middle. And he said, no, don't show that to anybody. Write some more songs. So I left that meeting, and Michael and I both said, he's wrong. And so we knew he was wrong in what he said. And I pitched that to Larry Goss. Found out if you pitch to the producer, pretty good idea. So I pitched it to Larry. Larnell Harris picked it because Larry was going to produce Larnell Harris. Larnell picked Champion of Love for his album.
Wow.
But Larry was also at the same time producing the cathedrals going to the London Philharmonic Orchestra in London. And there was one song short, and Larry showed the cathedrals. Larry used to have a Marantz cassette deck. Larry had that, and he showed it to cathedrals, and Glenn George said, "That's not us." I'm serious. Wow. He said, "That's not us. We can't sing that." Larry looked at Gerald, and Gerald said, "He can." And Gerald said, "No, I don't like it. I don't like that song." Now, this is coming straight from Gerald. He told me all of it.
Yeah, I've heard this.
So he said, "I didn't like that." Well, Larry had bought a brand new Jaguar. Yeah. and Gerald was crazy about that car. Loved it. And so I guess Larry must have got a little mad, a little irritated. And from what I understand, Larry he ejected that demo out of that Marantz, and he gave Gerald the keys to his Jaguar. And Gerald was just a young guy.
Yeah.
And said, "You go drive that Jaguar and you put that cassette tape in there and you don't come back until you love that song."
So true.
And so that's how Champion got recorded by the Cathedral Quartet. And that's how the song that should have never been heard just moved to the right place.
Wow. Yeah.
The perfect place where it should have been by the producer that should have done it, and in a situation that was just a dream. And listen, the greatest thing that ever happened to me as a writer from an artist, when they had recorded that song, I got a call from George one day. And George said, "Cross, what are you doing Thursday?" I said, "Well, I'm not doing anything. I get off at work at a certain time." And he said, "Would you meet us at the Cracker Barrel in Chattanooga Thursday night? We're going to pull in there. We'll have a few minutes, and we'd like to see you." And so I'd never heard the mix. I'd never heard what they did. And Glenn and George pulled up there in the bus, the Silhouette, Cracker Barrel. I crawl up there, and they get one of the guys to put that mix. And Glenn and George played me personally. Wow. That is the most respectful thing that I have ever had as a songwriter. They showed me that song, and George that day said, "This will be one of the greatest songs the Cathedral Quartet will ever sing on stage." And I was so honored by the way they felt about that song, and then to watch it endure. And in 2027, that song will be 40 years old. Wow. Next year.
Well, that's an incredible story. Phil Cross, congratulations. Welcome to the prestigious Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
We could have featured so many of his songs, but if you want to hear that and more for some special performances, Clark, tell us about the induction ceremony at National Quartet Convention.
That will be September 29th at National Quartet Convention. That will be part of the Tuesday afternoon showcases, and all that information is available at nqconline.com. We hope to see all of you there, and I'm looking so forward to you going into the Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you. I'm honored. Thank you so much, guys.
Well, we're going to listen to that classic Cathedral Quartet sing Phil's song, Champion of Love.
That made him the all-time, undisputed, undefeated champion of love. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? I want to introduce to you, in this corner of the good and the right, stands a champion robed in His age is evermore. He is higher than the highest, greater than the great. No one will ever take his crown away. He is more mighty than the mightiest. He reigns from above. He's the all-time, undisputed, undefeated champion of love. He left his hometown to enter this arena, to raise his hands in victory for me. But an angry crowd crucified this king who wore their crown, and they gladly watched the champion going down. But I will never count him out, for I'm a witness of the day he rose to retain the title, champion of love. He is higher than the highest, greater than the great. No one will ever take his crown away. He is more mighty than the mightiest. He reigns from above. He is higher than the highest, greater than the great. No one will ever take his crown away. He is more mighty than the mightiest. He reigns from above. He's the all-time, undisputed, undefeated champion. The all-time, undisputed, undefeated champion. The all-time, undisputed, undefeated champion of love. Have you really enjoyed the Cathedral?
We're back, and I hope that you enjoyed Champion of Love by the Cathedral Quartet. Our next inductee is Clayton Inman. Welcome, friend.
Hey, guys.
And, congratulations.
How are you? Great to see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Glad that you could be here.
Congrats to you too.
Well, thank you.
Please, my friend.
Glad you could be here with us.
Honored.
Now, our last inductee, Phil Cross, actually kind of broke the ice there talking about a song that you were, that was your big song, coming back to the Singing Americans. And do you have any story about Welcome to Heaven on your side of it? We heard the writing of it, but as an artist, when you performed it, do you have any story behind that song?
Yeah, I joined the Americans in '83, and I left for a portion of '84, and that's when they got really popular. And my solo career was working out so well that I came back in '85. And at that time, the Spear family had just created a concept video, and that was the first one in Southern Gospel that I'm aware of. And Charlie Burke said when Michael rejoined the vocal band that he wanted to know if I would come back to the Americans, and he said, we're doing a concept video on Welcome to Heaven. So I would have to go in the studio to re-record the song. And I had heard them sing it once. They sang Close to the House one time while Michael was still there, and we went, and I heard the song for the first time then. So, but I knew I was re-recording it, and I went in the studio, and I forgot how high I don't sing, because I had to put it in it was the same key that Michael recorded it in. But I didn't die, so all went well, and then the concept video was made after that. So, but to me, to even think the song is 40 years old, it's just amazing to me. But because I wasn't really happy with the recording of it, I've re-recorded it with every single group I've joined since then for Redemption. Yeah.
Did that work out well for you?
No, not really.
Well, talk to us a little bit about the beginning. Obviously, there are some people that think you just, hey, this is Clayton Inman, Triumphant Quartet. That's all a lot. You've been with Triumphant since Jesus was around, even when it was Integrity, but that's not the case. We got a little archive here we're going to pull out for the
oh my
Inman Quartet.
Yes.
There's a young stud on the end there. Look at that.
Is that Michelle's first husband? Is that who?
You know what? And those are real rocks and real water.
Well, talk to us a little bit about the beginning back in Memphis and how things got started for you.
Well, how much time do you have?
Hey, it's up to our sponsorship. If we can get another sponsor to zoom in here, we could probably go a little bit longer. But
well, I joined the group. It was we had a group and right out of high school, and we didn't have a sound system at all. And what happened was, when somebody would invite us to go sing at their church, we just sang around a piano. That's all we did. We just didn't have a sound system. So I was invited one day. My brother Phil invited me one day, said, hey, we're going to go over and watch this group at Range Hill Baptist Church. And we watched them, and man, they had the coolest sound system. It was a Peavey with the white microphones and the black head on it. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Purple power.
Oh yes. And we were blown away by that. So my brother, a little while later, I played baseball in high school, and I had a scholarship to Columbia State Community College, and I was supposed to leave that summer to go to Columbia State. Well, my brother calls me and says, hey, just let you know, we have a homecoming this Sunday. And I said, we're leaving. I'm leaving for Columbia. He said, okay, we really need you there. And I said, buddy, I'm leaving. I can't be at the concert. He said, man, you don't get it. We get to sing on microphones. So I didn't go to Columbia State.
While you were at the concert.
I went to the homecoming, we sang, and that's where it kind of started. And we had grown since then as far as that. This is our very first recording, the very first one. And my dad and mom, my Uncle Hugh and Aunt Evelyn, gave us the money to record that. We went to Hilltop Studios, and Woody Beatty produced it. And I'd seen all these guys in there. These guys played for the Hensons. I'm like, oh my goodness, we got their band, So they wanted us to sing along with the band. Well, we didn't know we were recording. Nobody told us to put headphones on, nothing like that. We recorded every single song without headphones. While they played, we sang. And the only time we put headphones on was when they wanted some stack vocals on Beulah Land. That's the only time I thought, man, I can hear. That's amazing. Because if you ever sung in a studio with no headphones at all, I mean, it's like, I can't hear me right here. So we did that, and this is great. Kevin McManus was the engineer, and the first song he was to mix, we weren't there that day. The first song he was to mix was Winging My Way Back Home. And he heard the song. He said, is every song like this? Because if it is, I'm going home. because he thought it's all over the place. He said, "Is every song like this?" So, but anyway, that was our very first recording.
And this that mix is on here.
That mix is on here. Oh my goodness!
All right, we're gonna play. No, we're not.
Oh, don't do that.
No.
We're good. We're proud of it. The very first one. So.
Did you have to surrender that scholarship? I'm just curious.
Hey, here's the thing. The paperwork had not been signed. The paperwork was waiting on me when I got there. The coach had it on his desk. He said, whenever you arrive, we'll take care of business when you get here.
Wow.
And so I called him and said, I'm sorry. And he said, anything I can do to change your mind?
I get to sing on microphone.
Yeah, I didn't tell him that part. But I didn't have, it was a verbal agreement, and when I was to show up there, the paperwork was sitting there.
Wow.
Yeah, but it never happened.
So you did surrender a scholarship?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you could have been looking at the next George Brett over here, but instead, he's Clayton Inman going to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I tell you what, let's do right now, it's a great chance to check out one of those classic songs that Clayton sings in, some fancy purple suits.
Oh, wow.
Yes, from the late 1980s. Here's Clayton Inman with the Singing Americans singing In the Shadow of His Love.
Though the storms are raging and the winds are moving fast, I'll find refuge in the shadow of His love till the storm is past. Though the night be dreary and the day seems long to last, I'll find refuge in the shadow of His love till the storm is past. For I'm safe in His keeping, I'm sure as heaven above. From His throne high in glory, the Savior shadows me with love. I praise the Lord tonight because I'm a child of God. He shadows me with His love. Though the cross be heavy and the distance seems so vast, I'll find refuge in the shadow of His love till it all is past. For I'm safe in His keeping, I'm sure as heaven above. From His throne high in glory, the Savior shadows me with love. For I'm safe in His keeping, I am sure as heaven above. From His throne high in glory, the Savior shadows me with love. The Savior shadows me with love.
That was the Singing Americans, In the Shadow of His Love. And we are here today celebrating Mr. Clayton Inman. But I wanted to take a quick moment to encourage you to become part of the Southern Gospel Music Association. And you can find all that information at sgma.org. And we'd love for you to be helpful to this great organization. And Clayton, let me just say, congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Been a fan of yours for many, many years. Not only a great singer, but a great friend to gospel music. And I know you have a lot of stories that you could tell, but tell us real quickly about the move when you went back to Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, yeah, after the Americans, after the stint with the Americans, it was in '89, and felt compelled to move back to Memphis. There was no job to go to, nothing. But before that, let me go back if I can. With the Americans, my very first time I was there in '83. When my wife became a Hall of Famer, I left a job in Memphis. Prior to that, I was promoted to a position inside of a grocery store, and the pay was good. Michelle was a dental assistant, and I went to the Singing Americans in '83, and when I took the job, I took a cut in pay. We were staying in a small apartment. Scotty was a toddler. And there was one particular weekend, and we'd been there like 3 or 4 months, and I was leaving for a 4-day weekend, and we had $11 in the bank. Michelle's sitting there at the dining room table, and she had checked the fridge. She said, "Listen, you take $10 out, leave us $1." And I knew then that I needed her with me in this journey. I knew then.
Well, and you can't do anything alone. There's so many people that they're behind the scenes. That's yours. We talk all the time about Arthur. We wouldn't have a Southern Gospel Music Association if it wasn't for his wife Tammy and everything that she does. And it's so important. You've said this before. This honor is, we see Clayton up here, and this honor is for him. He said several times behind the scenes, this is as much about Michelle as it is about him.
Yeah. And I left during that. Then after some years with Americans, I left, and I didn't know why I was leaving. No promise of a job, nothing like that. Michelle was a dental assistant, and there was no promise of her getting work. Went back to Memphis, Tennessee, lived with my folks. We lived with my folks for 2 weeks, and my dad was mad. Oh, he was mad. He was upset because I made a rash decision to move back, in which I get that. It was a rash decision. So I tried selling cars for a little bit, and I was awful at it. I was horrible. And then I got a job at a spaghetti factory, and that was the worst job I think I'd ever had.
It was worse than so.
It was worse, I thought. And I was wondering, is this the... I didn't know what was going on then. Well, I was working the midnight shift, and to tell you how bad it was there to work in the spaghetti factory, 2 weeks into the job, they made me a foreman. And I knew nothing about the machinery. So
this wasn't spaghetti factory restaurant.
This is Ronco Spaghetti Factory. This is where they made the noodles. They made the noodles. And so it was pretty bad. And so I worked the midnight shift, and one afternoon, I wake up and there's Michelle sitting on the side of the bed. And I thought, because you should be at work, I said, what's going on? She goes, I need to tell you something. And so she proceeded to tell me that she was concerned about her salvation. So she met with our pastor's wife, and she said, I just got saved. I said, what? And then after it all kind of clicked, I thought, man, that's awesome. Well, 2 or 3 weeks after that story there, I get a phone call from Steve French about come to sing with the Kingdom Heirs. And I said, man, thank you. We just got here. I can't do that. And Michelle said, who is that? I said, Steve French, Kingdom Heirs. Wants to know if I want to come audition for the group. She goes, don't tell him no yet. I said, wow, okay. So we auditioned at Quartet Convention and ended up that October joined the Kingdom Heirs of '89. So after looking, you don't really know why things happen when they do until you look back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really believe that we had to be right there.
That's awesome. Absolutely.
For that pocket of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So
That's good. What I want to know is, did you ever learn how to work that spaghetti machine?
No, I left the job just in time. That's good. I left just in time.
And you have all your fingers.
Honestly, I knew nothing. I mean, they said where the mixing machines were, if they ever exploded or you opened the door, go down and punch the button, off the button, but don't be standing in water when you're doing it, because water seems to be all over the floor. So one day I was walking past the machine and it exploded and the top opened up and spaghetti mix was flying everywhere. So I went over to stop it at the board, and I was standing in water. And it hit me, it threw me back into a grill wall. I thought, why am I here? Why am I here? So, anyway, I hated it.
Well, you talk about being at the right place at the right time. I've got a special video from the archives. This is a one-of-one, because if you were not there in Pennsylvania in 1993, so Steve French had laryngitis, and they called in a friend to fill in. And so this is a home movie video of the Kingdom Heirs singing in Pennsylvania in 1993.
Wow.
Featuring Kirk Talley on the tenor. Rick Strickland moved to the baritone part, and Eric Bennett is on bass. Featuring Clayton Inman singing "It Happened That Very Moment."
Oh, wow.
When he saved my soul.
I can't wait for
Hey, it happened that very moment when he saved my soul after you just talked about Michelle. We didn't even know that was going to happen.
Wow. That's awesome.
We better toss to it right now.
That's
Enjoy
awesome.
this. That was a very special video, Clayton. Have you ever seen that before?
Never.
He doesn't even remember being on the platform that night. But that was a special moment, and you've had a lot of special moments in your time with Triumphant. That's obviously where the majority of our fans and viewers watching this tonight know you from. Share a little bit about your journey with Triumphant, Clayton.
Well, after leaving the Singing Americans, and I left, Kingdom Heirs, I helped form a group called One by One. Was there 8 years, and I'm really thrilled about that. But after leaving One by One, I left there thinking that my son Scotty and me were going to form a group. We were the Inman and Company. Already had the banner. No studio booked yet, and so we borrowed $20,000 to get started. I was online looking for one of those old computers, looking for a van to travel in. We couldn't find a tenor singer. We had trouble finding it, but we needed to book the studio to get things working out in January. And man, I was striking out. We tried out so many tenors and it just wasn't working out. Well, in the meantime, around October or so, I forgot what month it was, is when Louise Mandrell had approached Eric, David, and Jeff about, being the morning show there at the theater. And I don't know when they decided that it was going to happen, but they were holding auditions. Well, Eric called me and said, "Hey, this is what's going on. Would you want to sing?" I said, "Man, I can't do it. I can't. Me and Scotty are doing our own thing." And he said, "Okay." And man, there were people in the city that were approaching. "You're not going to sing with the guys. You're not going to sing with the guys." We got this going on, and I'd already spent $7,500 of that 20. And so one day we were sitting around the dinner table, Scotty, my daughter Jordan, Michelle, me. It was really quiet. And I said, "Sure is quiet around here. What's going on?" And Scotty said, "Hey, do you ever think what it'd be like if we did audition and sing with them, and what it would sound like?" And yada, yada. I said, yeah, but we're already in this thing. we spent money. And I looked over at Michelle and she said, I said, we're $7,500 in the hole. She said, "Well, if it's where you're supposed to be, do you think we'd miss it?" I thought, wow, okay. So I looked over at Jordan. She was a really young girl then. I said, "What do you think?" She said, "It'd be cool," like that. So I called Eric. They were having auditions the next day. I called Eric. I said, "Listen, we're going to come and audition, me and Scotty both. But if there's somebody there that just knocks your hat in the creek, you take them. You take them." And that was going to be my fleece, I guess, put out there. And so I wanted to be last. I didn't want to be anywhere around the audition during those times. Scotty showed up. He showed up, and if there's a lead singer auditioning, he sang baritone. If there's baritone audition, he sang lead. I mean, he just didn't care. I wanted to be there. And so I sat in the truck until it was time for us to sing. So we went in and auditioned, and we did Rock of Ages, Cleft for Me, and we knew then, man, okay, when do we start? We just knew. And here we are 23 years later. So I'm honored to be a part of that bunch. So some of the best friends to travel with in the group. And it was a treat for 21 years to sing with Scotty.
Well, it sounds like what we've learned today is that Michelle is right.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
I'm going to say 99%.
Okay.
Let's just go 99%.
Just in case you weren't sure of that, I wanted to reinforce that.
I have a brilliant moment once in a while, but it's only once in a while.
All the hits that Triumphant has had during your tenure there. Maybe something that was recorded as maybe something of a little gimmick to begin with became an iconic monster hit that you will probably be singing as long as you're singing. So stay in good shape, my friend. That's all I can tell you, which he does stay in excellent shape. But
well, if they do keep waving, I'll just do in a walker.
If you've ever been to a Triumphant concert, you know, I mean, you can't wait to wave those handkerchiefs. Here's Triumphant, Old White Flag.
Hey, lost sinner man, don't you know you can't win? If you keep on walking down the road to hell, one day you're gonna walk right in. You're tired of listening to the devil's lies, burdened down so low. You found out that a sinner's life is a mighty hard road to hoe. Why don't you just wave that old white flag of surrender? Come down to the altar, let God save your soul today. You've run from the Lord since so far back you can't remember. Let Him ease your troubled mind and wash your sins away. Hey, hey. Hey, lost sinner man, I can see through your tears. I can see you staring at the preacher's face. His words just calm your fears. And there you go, running down the aisle, bound to be born again. Very soon you can use that old white flag to preach to your sinner friends. Why don't you just wave that old white flag of surrender? Come down to the altar, let God save your soul today. You've run from the Lord since so far back you can't remember. Let Him ease your troubled mind and wash your sins away. Hey, why don't you just wave that old white flag of surrender? Come down to the altar, let God save your soul today. Yeah. You've run from the Lord since so far back you can't remember. Let Him ease your troubled mind and wash your sins away. Let Him ease your troubled mind and wash your sins away. Let Him wash your sins away.
Welcome back, and that was the old white flag. Clayton Edmond, congratulations again, and welcome to the induction and the Hall of Fame. And so our next inductee is Conrad Cook, and Conrad passed away in 2004. So we have Miss Robin and Cliff Atkins. And Miss Robin is Conrad's daughter, and welcome. We are glad that you're here. Thank y'all for being here today. Y'all sung with Conrad for years. Probably since you were a kid. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So, but we're glad that you're here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And, just a wonderful guy and just a tremendous songwriter. My goodness.
He was.
It's a great song. A lot of songs that people may not realize that he wrote. And,
You'll hear choirs singing his songs. And then when we go in like to sing, they don't even realize that my dad had wrote that. He just never was. He just enjoyed writing.
Well, he got to start with the Cavalrymen Quartet in West Virginia. Great. It started out as a regional quartet, but Gary, you're from West Virginia as well.
I've got some great memories of the Cavalrymen Quartet. I remember my first experience, I was 7 years old, and the Cavalrymen came to our local church there to sing, and I had a little brother at the time that was, he was 6 years old, and he loved gospel music, and while they were singing, he kept hollering out, broken pieces, broken pieces. We had no idea what he was talking about. But my mom remembered that she played the album, Pick Up the Broken Pieces. And back home we said Conard. I
Conard.
know a lot of folks say Conrad, but Conard. He says, "Stop. We're going to do that, son, right now. We're going to sing Pick Up the Broken Pieces." And he looked over to Squire and says, "Take it." And so they did it for my little brother. So we had so many special memories.
Yeah.
And I remember the Calvin would get done singing, and your dad would get off that piano,
Yeah.
and he'd walk around, and they start singing them old spirituals.
The old black chant spirituals.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
some special memories. And then the times that we sang together at Mount Nebo, it was a great time.
Yeah.
Thousands of people on that mountainside, and it was a great
Yeah,
time.
it was. It was.
Yeah, I was looking right over the shoulder, right over here, and looking at Squire.
Yeah.
And I know Squire is smiling in heaven today, because that was, Connor was Squire's hero. I mean, you know, dare say you and I talked. If
Yeah.
hadn't been for Connor Cook, there wouldn't be a Squire Parsons.
Totally believe that.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know if you all know this, but Dad and Squire dormed together in college. And the first time, I remember Dad and Squire both told me, the first time when Squire wrote a song, he came to the band room, because Dad and Squire both taught band and vocal. And when he came to the band room, he was reading this song to Dad. And Dad looked at him, he said, "Buddy, I think you need to go back and work on it some more."
He came out of that tough school.
Yeah.
Well, back then, it reminds me of somebody else from West Virginia, Harold Lane.
Yes.
With your father being a band director for over 25 years, that's a unique quality that you don't see in a lot of folks in our genre, but it allowed him the ability to understand music and how to communicate it out to people.
Right.
And obviously that came through his songwriting. Do you have a favorite memory or any stories from any particular song that he wrote that really stands out to you all?
Those Ship of Zion.
Yeah, I remember him telling the story about when he wrote the old Ship of Zion. He had came home from work, and he'd always eat his supper. He'd go out and sit on the porch on the swing, drink his coffee. And it was in the evening time, and he said he was sitting out there drinking his coffee, and all of a sudden the Holy Spirit spoke to his heart and said, "I need you to go back up to the school, to the band room." And he didn't tell him why. He said, I just knew he told me to go, and I had to go. He went and told Robin and Mom. And next thing you know, he went up there, and he said he sat down there and sat there behind his desk in his chair and just kind of closed his eyes and was wondering, well, why am I here, you know? And all of a sudden, it was like he said he had almost like an out-of-body experience. He just went off like in a vision. And, the Spirit started giving him each verse about every hour. He'd write a verse. And he got home about 6 o'clock in the morning after being up there all night. And he come in there just flabbergasted, just so excited because he knew that he felt like he'd been called up. And he sung it to him for the first time. And he had to turn right around and go back up there and teach the next morning.
So when he wrote, "I was standing on the banks of the river," he was standing on the banks of the river.
Yes.
Wow.
And he said he saw so many people on the shoreline of decision.
Oh, wow.
You know, and when he was looking back, when he was finally leaving, there was still so many people that didn't get on board the boat. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
So that was a wonderful story. I used to love to hear him tell that. We'd sing that about everywhere we go. It's probably one of our most requested songs.
Yep.
I think it's a great time, though, for us to hear that song.
Absolutely.
Let's take a listen to the Kingsmen Quartet singing "Is That the Old Ship of Zion," written by this year's 4th inductee to the Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame, Connor Cook.
Amen. Boy, what a crowd. How great thou art. Boy, I don't think there's any song like that. That song just sings itself. But I want you to listen to one of the first big songs that the Kingsmen ever had. And we've had some big ones. Stand Up and Judgment, and I could go on, Excuses, and I could go on and on. But this was, I think, the first, well, we did the Apple Tree song and then this one. And everybody sings on it. We do this one a cappella without any music. And so I want the fellas to come on up and let's sing it. Greg, you come up here and sing with your Uncle Jim. Don't get too close in. God didn't give you no singing, boy. You like Anthony. Come on. You want to start it? Yeah, you do.
I was standing on the banks of the river,
Looking out over life's troubled sea. When I saw an old ship that was sailing, is that the old ship of Zion? Its hull was bent and battered from the storms of life. I could see waves were rough, but that old ship was steady. Is that the old ship of Zion? Boy, that's singing there. Might take me a shout. Come on. Come on.
At the stern of the ship was the captain. I could hear as he called out my Get on board. It's the old ship of Zion. It will never pass this way.
Hi friends, if you are looking for a way that you can help the Southern Gospel Music Association as we are here in our beautiful Hall of Fame in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, one of the many ways that you can support is by becoming a benefactor for one of our Hall of Fame inductees that's already been inducted into the Hall of Fame. The cost of the plaques right now is about $3,000 and they weigh 75 pounds apiece. Arthur should know because he's put just about every one of these up on this board. But a lot of times people ask, how can we help? And you can go to SGMA.org and you can become a member for $20 for your annual dues. But one way you can really help us is to become a benefactor of a plaque of someone that's been inducted. And we're going to share with you who those individuals are that do not currently have a benefactor. Clark, you've been a benefactor in the past. And you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's a point of personal privilege for me that I was able to be the benefactor of my father's plaque. And that plaque that hangs in the Hall of Fame, it has me as the benefactor of that plaque. And I loved being able to do that. So if you have a loved one or someone that's meant a lot to you, or a company or an organization of which that person, that inductee was an important part, maybe you could consider being a benefactor. I can tell you, I love the fact that my name is on Dad's plaque, and that's something that will be there as long as the Hall of Fame is here. So.
And you don't just have to be one individual. We have radio stations that have come together, done it. We've had church groups that have done it. It's not limited to just one person. If there's several people that want to go together. But again, we're going to share that on the screen right now, and there's a list at sgma.org of the inductees that do not currently have a benefactor. So if you say, hey, how can I help the SGMA? That's one way you can help immediately today. The cost of those plaques has already been paid for, but you becoming a benefactor will get your name on that plaque as soon as we can get it taken care of. Thank you for your consideration and your continued support of the Southern Gospel Music Association.
Hey, I want to remind you to go to sgma.org. We would love to have your support. I mean, you see the displays that are around here. And I mean, some amazing memorabilia that's on display. All of this takes your help to support. And you know, we're constantly modifying the displays. There are overhead expenses associated with freshening them, changing them up, and just keeping this museum operable. And we're very fortunate to have our arrangement with Biblical Times Theater, which is right here in Pigeon Forge. But that annual overhead, we need your help. And of course, you can provide that help in the way of membership. And you also get to participate in the Hall of Fame induction process when you do that. And there's other ways you can participate as well. So go to sgma.org and see what you can do to help us. We'd love to have your involvement.
Or you call the 800 number right on the screen.
Yeah, right here, the 800 number, right here. You notice how
right there,
yeah,
right there.
I have no idea what it is, but it's right here.
Well, that is such a great reminder that you always, every year when the induction ceremony happens, somebody will say, well, I wish so-and-so had got in. I wish so-and-so had got in. The reality of it is, I'm sure Carter's family sitting right here, they would have loved to have seen him inducted years ago, but it's up to you. You all have the vote. And if you want to see someone get in the Hall of Fame, you have to vote and you have to be a member. But coming back to the Kingsmen, I think there's a competition online between some of the groups about who has more Hall of Famers and inspirations, Kingsmen, a lot of different folks. And I'm looking right over Gary's head is Ray Dean Reese. And I think we talked earlier about Squire and his relationship and how close they were with the Cavalrymen Quartet. But that almost went a step further when Squire went to the Kingsmen. It opened up your dad's songs to a whole different audience outside of just West Virginia.
It did. Well, Squire and them would sing on programs with the Kingsmen, while he was still with Dad and them. And then they would get out there, and then I guess that's how it all started. Just going back and forth with each other and talking. And
I remember him telling us the story about Foxy coming to him and saying, Connor, what would you think about us asking Squire to come and sing with the Kingsmen? Well, Dad was always up for, helping anybody to move up to the next level, and he said that would just be wonderful. So that's how Squire got to go with the Kingsmen, but the good thing about it was he had wrote those songs that they'd been singing. And when Squire went with the Kingsmen, then the next thing you know, they started singing Glory Road and The Old Ship is I. And then he turned around and wrote a song for him, Saints Will Rise, that went to #1 for him.
Yeah.
And I remember him telling me, because I've been writing for quite a while, he said, son, all you need is one group to sing one song. And if they, they singled out to radio and it does good, then you'll have some other folks call you and want you to maybe write a song for them. And I said, well, I'm still, it's been 20-some years, I'm still waiting on that. I ain't giving up,
But don't sell yourself short. A lot of people remember seeing y'all with Calvary Echoes along with Conrad. I'm sorry, I'm from Florida. I can't speak West Virginia, so I call it Conrad.
Yeah, it's all right.
But seeing you on the Gaither Homecoming special.
Yes.
Yeah, you were on several of those early ones.
I can tell you a good story about that.
Oh, let's hear it.
Y'all remember Charlie Waller?
Oh, yes.
He's right behind your head.
Right there.
All right.
Well, you remember he promoted the old time gospel scene down there. Was it
Grand Old Gospel Reunion.
Yep. Well, he ended up inviting us down there, and his dad had just recently passed away. And Conrad reminded him so much of his dad, and this is what Charlie told us. They just formed a real close connection. Next thing you know, he was inviting us down every year to do the singing. Well, Charlie, now this is what I was told. Charlie was friends with Bill Gaither. And Bill had just started the Homecoming series videos early 90s. I think that's when it was. And Bill was always looking for groups that were kind of unique, to kind of, he's a businessman, sell some videos, right? Okay. So anyway, Charlie said he was out riding with Bill, and he pulled out a cassette and he said, Bill, I got a group from the hills of West Virginia I want you to hear. And he said, well, who are they? He said, Conrad Cook and the Calvary. He said, I ain't never heard of them. He said, I know you ain't. He said, but I want you to listen. He stuck it in there. And we were singing Moses, Take Your Shoes Off. Well, anyway, Bill's kind of reserved, but Charlie said he was tapping the steering wheel because Bill was driving. And after we got done singing, Bill looked at him and said, who was that black group again? And Charlie said, they're just as white as you and me. And he said, I gotta have them. So the next thing you do, we got a call. I think his secretary was Connie. And she called and invited us up for our first video up to Alexandria, Indiana. And that's back when they had the piano right there and everybody just sung. I thought those were special times. Anthony Berger playing on the piano. And when you get up there, Bill will always tell you, bring you a song, but you're not promised you get to sing that song. And you're there for several days recording. Robin had strep throat through the whole time. She was sick through the whole time. Now, if you're a new group like we was, nobody really knew who we was. You sit in a little corral over on the side. And when they're videoing, you're not really even videoed. You're there, but you're not on video. So you're just praying, well, I sure hope Bill gets us out to sing our song, And the third day of recording had went by, and it was almost midnight. I mean, we'd been there all day. They'd break for lunch and supper. And we hadn't been called out. And she had been sick that whole time and running a fever.
Really
and we were
sick.
sitting over there with Kevin Spencer and several other new groups that was over there. And all of a sudden, Bill said, well, I think, and you know how he does, he says, we've got a family here from the hills of West Virginia. Oh my goodness, my heart just started, oh Lord, because we were the only ones in the crowd from West Virginia. And he said they're called Conrad Cook and the Calvary Echoes. And we come walking out. Everybody's kind of looking at us. Everybody was tired, right? Everybody's looking at us like, who are these people? And we got behind the piano. And they started, that first video was called the Revival video. And we done a song that Dad wrote called Hallelujah to the Lamb. I don't know if you remember that. Yes. And we started singing that, and Robin had the second verse, and she was up in the rafters. you know, God touched her voice and she sung just like as sweet as a bird. And the Spirit came down in there that late at night again, and we started having just church, and the church broke out. And after the track was over, me and Robin and Mom, we kind of walked off to the side. Well, Dad was still
Daddy
feeling it.
didn't.
And he led everybody in a cappella singing that chorus to Hallelujah to the Lamb. And Bill kept it in there on the video. And I'll never forget that. And then next thing you knew, he had invited us back up. We'd done like 3 videos. We'd done Moses Take Your Shoes Off.
I was there at the recording of that.
Was you there on that one?
And y'all
And
evermore could have shined, boys.
Squire was there, and I'll never forget. 'Cause
You could just see
we loved
Squire's
so much.
countenance. He was proud of
He was
Daddy.
so, yeah, you could just see it radiating when he saw Dad, you know,
Yeah.
the family. He was just so happy and so proud. And it was just a wonderful experience. I'll never forget, I was kind of talking about Moses Take Your Shoes Off and a kind of unique sound with Dad and stuff. Is this okay if I'm talking about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't want to cut out
No,
on you, but
no, you're fine.
we were down in a place called Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And we, you know, groups, you got to get there early, get set up, right? So we got there. Our kids were small. We practically raised them on the bus. We got there early and we was getting ready to set up. We got off the bus and we're taking equipment in and stuff. And Connor had me and Robin mainly did all the setting up. Well, there was a little lady. She looked like she was probably 86 years old. She had pulled in not far from behind the bus and she was sitting in her car. And the pastor showed up. He came up on the bus and, you know, we were conversing with one another. And next thing you know, we're still setting up. And as I came out of the church, she was out there pointing in his face, that pastor's face, just giving him
Man.
down the road.
Yeah, man.
And we were thinking, oh my goodness, wonder what that's about. Well, anyway, he comes walking back on the bus, and he's got this smile on his face, he's just shaking his head. And we were like, what happened? He said, well, you know, that's when Gaither came out with the Moses again, and it kind of got popular again. Well, he said, this little lady, her favorite song is Moses, Take Your Shoes Off. And you all are her favorite group. So when I announced months ago that you all were coming, she was going to get here, to be the first one here to get the best seat, you know, because, you know, it pack out. And when she saw us coming off the bus and setting up all the equipment,
Yeah, she got mad.
she got mad at him
Yeah,
because
she really did.
she swore up and down he got the wrong group. Got the wrong group. And he said, no, sweetheart, this is Conrad Cook. She said, no, you got the wrong. She said, the group I like is a black group. I mean, she just going on about it. So anyway, he talked, we had the best chuckle about that. But anyway, when we would start singing, usually we'd come out as a family. Conrad would sing bass, and me and Robin and Mom would sing a few songs together as he sung bass. And then he would come out and kind of take over. Well, anyway, he would always, about halfway through the program, he would do songs like Moses. Because he'd always say, I got to take a run and go with them kind of songs. You know? Yeah. So anyway, when they invited us out, they introduced us. That little lady, the place was packed out. She was sitting on about the third pew back. She looked meaner than a wet hen. She was just so mad. And Dad came out and said, listen, I usually don't do this because I usually take a run and go at this song. He said, but I feel that I need to start off with this song tonight. And we went right in to Moses, Take Your Shoes Off. And when we did, and he came in on his lead part, she just lit up like a candle. She started shouting, got out there in that aisle, and I tell you, church broke out there. And we had the best time. But I'll never forget that because he would always have to wait, you know, to run and go at it. But he started.
But we needed to make her happy.
We had to make her happy. Yeah, didn't want the spirit to be grieved.
My question is, does she go back to the pastor and apologize?
She probably did. And he probably loved every minute. Well, that was a fun time.
Well, by all accounts, Conrad was a world-class gentleman,
Yes.
world-class songwriter, world-class MC,
Yes.
world-class singer, and we could not be more thrilled to have him as part of the class of 2026 at the Southern Gospel Music Association Hall of
so
Fame.
much. You know, Dad, I don't know, well, I'm sure a lot of you guys know it, but Dad was born with a disability. All his siblings, they were all in the military. But Dad, he couldn't because he only had one eye. And my aunt, she was a nurse for over 40-some years, and she bought Dad's piano when he was 4 years old. And Dad, he was never the type that wanted millions of dollars. He just didn't. What you see was what you got. And I mean, it was so, Dad was so funny that when he would start his car, he'd have to lift the hood to start it. I mean, he just never cared about nothing like that. Yeah, and so, you know, he loved Squire. He did. He loved Squire so much, but I'm sorry. And so it was just a blessing when I got the call from Arthur and them that they were nominating Dad into it. And I thought, well, how sweet. You know, Dad, he was so humble. He would have been so joyed inside to think that everything he had to endure growing up, that this was the thanks that the Lord was giving him for using him and allowing the Lord to use him. Because Dad never minded. I mean, it's like, I was telling him before a little bit ago, Dad, he still got over, well, I've got the case, over 2,500 songs that's never even been touched in his case. And I'm talking band scores. He wrote a band score, Solomon's Temple, and it real long. And but I mean, they're just sitting there. And I said, well, you know, one day the Lord will use them songs again, and whoever wants them, you know.
Maybe you can bring him to the National Quartet Convention at his induction ceremony, and we'll have a special table set up that afternoon for him.
I promise you, it'll be the longest table full of artists trying to get those songs.
I may charge for that deal.
You know, one thing I can say about your dad, I loved him. I grew up, he was a hero. And he, not only was he a great artist, songwriter, singer, but he was an encourager.
Yeah.
He always encouraged other artists, no matter what age. He was an encourager. At times, I mentioned earlier that we would sit at Mount Nebo behind the stage and we'd do our rounds and we'd sit up all night long. Conard was backstage listening to those artists, and when you'd walk off that platform, he'd encourage you. He'd stay up all day and night. So those are the type of things that I remember that was special about Conard.
Do you remember the old coffee thermos jugs? And when you go to undo it, because Dad was a coffee drinker. I mean, it was black coffee. And it would go, But when he would get under, he could drive a bus. I'm telling you, he could flat drive one. And I got to tell something on you. Yeah, I got to tell this. No, I'm going to tell it. Yeah, we had sung up in Oklahoma, and Dad was, once he got that coffee in him, he could drive all night and half the day the next day. Well, he had taught Cliff how to drive. Well, he told Cliff, you better go lay down and get your rest caught up. He said, because when I get tired, I'm going to shut down. So we got all the way, because at the time when we first moved, we lived off Strawberry Plains exit. And Cliff, he woke up. I said, Cliff, Dad is wanting you to come up. He's going to need you to relieve him. So the way Cliff thought it was that still had some hours to go. Dad pulled the bus over, and we was all acting like, oh gosh, you know, man, Dad is so tired. But we were one exit from where we were supposed to turn off.
All the way home, and
And so here's Cliff driving the bus, and Dad's just sitting there. You just looking, he's just waiting.
Ain't that weird? You touch a strawberry plain pie. Just a little bit. Come find out we were home.
That's funny. I think we're setting up Glory Road.
Yes.
If songs are ever inducted into the Hall of Fame, Glory Road will be in the inaugural class. I'm convinced of that. Is there a story that you're aware of how he was inspired to write that?
I really don't know that story. I know he wrote it in 1973. And I don't know of any group that probably hasn't sung that.
Oh,
that's the thing.
I remember when King's Gold had re-recorded, then back in, I think it was the early 2000s, Ivan, Anthony, and Kirk had re-recorded it. And they done a great job on it. They really did.
And then he wrote When My Feet Touch the Streets of Gold.
Lefebvre's.
Lefebvre's just re-recorded.
Number one song.
Yeah. Well, you know, Lefebvre's originally, when Eva Mae was with them, they originally, and Janet Paschal, originally had recorded that song.
Great songs have no expiration date.
No.
They do not. And great songs and great groups singing those songs.
Yeah.
Here's the Kingsmen again singing Glory Road, and congratulations to Connor. We're so honored that you all are here today.
Thank you.
And again, come see the induction ceremony at the National Quartet Convention this year, and we want you to enjoy this song, another great by Connor Cook, Glory Road.
Is this road you're traveling? Dark, deserted, or dim? Is there hope for tomorrow? Just put your trust in Him. Now on this glory road I'm traveling, many times I've stumbled on my way, but praise the Lord, I'll soon be leaving to that land of perfect peace and endless day. I can see the lights of home. I can see God on His throne. I'm to turn back now. Oh, praise the Lord. I'm heaven bound, and when my journey is ending, I'll say goodbye to a world of sin. In that fair land, I'll take my stand. It's good to be on this road for glory land. And I can see the lights of home. I can see God on His throne.
Hold it. Start that chorus over. I like that.
I can see the lights of home. I can see God on His throne. I'm too near to turn back now. Oh, praise the Lord, I'm heaven bound. When my journey is ending, I'll say goodbye to a world of sin. Up in that fair land, I'll take my stand.
Well, that was the Glory Road, and I
Yeah.
hope that you enjoyed that. Some great songs and great arrangements right there. We've had a great day, haven't we?
It's been a special day.
Thank you for being a part
very
of it.
special day for some people. Clark, we're so excited. He's helped host this and has been a great partner for us for many years. But Clark gets to actually be inducted this year. The audit has been completed. You will be going in. Yeah. We were waiting for the end of this program for him to actually be inducted, but that's going to take place. We hope you've enjoyed yourself. We hope you've heard stories you've never heard before, seen videos you've never heard before. Gary, what was your favorite part about today?
Oh my goodness. I think all the interviews, stories that I've not heard before, and it's always encouraging to hear, especially like songs like Phil Cross, the Hopper song, Yes I Am. Great moments.
We know your favorite part was all the talk about West Virginia. You're not fooling us.
There you go. Am I allowed to say it? Go Mountaineers? No.
Thank you for joining in, and thank you Singing News TV for letting us be a part of your program.